Thanks for tuning in to Let Fear Bounce. What are we going to be doing here? We're going to be tossing out nuggets of hope. And who the heck am I? My name is Kim Lengling, and I will be your host. And I am so glad that you're joining me today. So sit back, relax, grab that cup of coffee, and let's get this show started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Let Fear Bounce. This is Kim Lengling, your host, and I am so pleased that you are spending just a small part of your day with myself and my special guest today. I got a twofer today, folks. Rox Berkey and Charles Brakefield. They are authors. They are award-winning authors of the Enigma series, 12 books, 10 short stories, audiobooks, book trailers, and the newest series, Enigma Airs, which is releasing this year. You heard it, folks, this year releasing. Been excited to have these folks on. They were a guest of mine last year, and I'm excited to have them on again. So Rox and Charles, welcome to Let Fear Bounce.
Hey, Kim, so nice to be here. What a really wonderful way to start our year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kim, for having us.
Okay, first off, and I just go wherever my mind takes me. You've got a dog named Simone.
Yeah. Doesn't everyone?
Doesn't everyone, right. I've not heard of a dog named Simone, so I love it. And what type of dog is it? And how did you come about having Simone in your lives?
Oh, she is a beautiful, the color of that spice that sounds like Simone. That's her color, and she has no ears cut. And she's just beautiful and friendly, and she was rescued. Rottweilers tried to tear her apart, and she ended up having 6 months in veterinary, healthcare emergency section, so they could put her back together, and she doesn't have a mean bone in her body, thankfully.
Wow.
But I'm the only one she's ever bitten, because I don't give the snack the way she likes to chew it.
Because it's all about her.
That's exactly it.
Well, as it should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I love dog lovers, so I always ask about their dogs and their names and all of that. What a rough start that sweet soul had, but how fortunate and lucky that she made her way to you guys. Awesome.
Well, she made her way to my house, and I spoil her rotten. And then, of course, Charles, at his house, he decided he was going to pick up the bandwagon on, rescuing a dog. So he has one called Trevor.
Yeah. He was staggering around, emaciated, dehydrated, just a wisp of a dog. He's put on 30 pounds since we rescued him. And he too is the only other animal to bite me for the snacks. So.
There's something about you then, huh?
There's a lesson there somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you said that.
I'm tasty. What can I say?
Right, exactly. Sure. That's it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So you guys are always busy. And I like how you began your partnership by writing nonfiction papers and books. And then you formed a business partnership to share stories as fictional story writers. Share a little bit with the listeners how that journey came about.
Well, we were writing these tech manuals, and as soon as we got them done, take 3 to 6 months to be able to do one properly, and it was out of date as soon as they went to press. So they started leaning on us, saying, "Give us you need to update this, and we need a new edition." So I got mad, stomped off, took my marbles, and went home. And she wouldn't let it go. She's like, I've got. She used her 4 most terrifying words in her vocabulary. I have an idea. And so she came back in a couple of months and new deal. Here's a fictional spin on it. We'll put in the technical details, and we'll turn this into a storytelling extravaganza. And I said, what, a trilogy? No. We're just going to write the series, and then I'll let you know when I think we need to go to a new one. And I went, well, I don't know. She goes, you can kill people and not go to jail. And I said, I'd like to see a little more. Okay.
I
And
love
so,
that. But you guys both have a technical background because you were writing those books and papers for work-related purposes, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so you tweaked that and turned those into, are they kind of thriller-ish?
They're techno thrillers, and we
Yeah.
actually coined that little genre term before it was actually listed on Amazon, though I don't think they're ever going to pay us for having that term. But techno
No,
thrillers are the technical term. So there's a foundation of technology. It's real, regardless of what some people think, going, oh, you've made that up. But when you've been in technology, sometimes you don't make things up. You know how that goes. So
yeah, sometimes it's a little too stark for a lot of people, and so they'll discount it. That this can't be. It can't be. And then next thing you know, they're reading something in the newspaper, and I get an email saying, "You were right.
mm-hmm.
We didn't. We thought you thought you were pulling our leg there, Charles."
You know,
So,
there's a reason for the phrase, you don't have the need to know.
yeah.
Seriously,
that,
if
Kim.
you think
Yep.
about it, because I was in the military and I was in a military intelligence, and
Mhm.
that phrase was used a lot. You don't have the need to know. I wasn't at a level that I had the need to know. And for the general public, a general civilian public, they wouldn't be able to believe or handle a lot.
Yeah, digest it and
Yes.
then not wig out. I get it. Yeah.
Current events would be, right there with you.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I've always found that fascinating just because of my background. And I'm sure you guys have seen it as well, that, well, you just explained that you did. People are like, oh, that couldn't happen, or oh, that's not true, or and then shortly
Yeah.
down the road, it's like, oh, wow. And
Yeah.
their mind is like,
My dad was in the military for 30 years, single engine fighters. And he used to pull that on that same routine on me. I said, Dad, why can't I have a larger allowance? What's the deal? And he goes, you don't need to know that.
Yeah, it's a phrase that's been around for decades.
It's still freshly used day in and day out. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Well, and and I've used it too a couple times, and people look at me and they're like, what? I'm like, no, really think about it. Would you be able to handle knowing all of this? Do you really, really want to know? Because if you do, you probably wouldn't sleep anymore.
Yeah, or you'd sleep with heavily armed and accidentally shoot yourself. So
right, yes, heavily armed with weapons you're not familiar with, you shoot yourself. Yeah. Awesome stuff, huh?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, always fun.
So do you miss the military, Kim?
I'm glad that I did it. I don't know if I miss it, but I really did like it. I liked the regiment of it. And you had a job and you knew what you were supposed to be doing for the most part. There was a lot of hurry up and wait, but I liked the regiment of it. And I was good at what I did, and I enjoyed it. And it was different coming back into civilian life to be a normal person again. That did take a little bit. Took a little while. And I'm a huge advocate for veterans. So for the last 30 years, I help those veterans when they're transitioning, and maybe they came home with a little extra mental than what they went with. And so I help folks, a lot of veterans, especially female veterans that live with PTSD and things like that. I just help them, guide them where they might need to go, help them, with housing, simple things that they need just to get through the day sometimes.
No, exactly. In
Yeah.
fact, we also are very fond of veterans for lots of different reasons. In one of our books, Gamers, for example, we actually highlight a veteran and some of the struggles that the veteran's going through, just to kind of make sure people don't forget.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. So you've got a whole book where it's a main character in there. You said Gamers is the name of the book?
It's not a main character. He's a minor character, but his role is kind of main because he he provides some very good insight on the cyber criminals, and he doesn't even realize that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
You could have a main character that is, former military intelligence, like maybe that did Morse code back in the day.
Yeah.
Actually, we have one. We have a senior communications specialist that we.
But he's not so nice.
Well, no.
That's why I wanted to bring up the nice one.
Well, a nice one. Oh, okay.
Andy Greenwood.
Oh, Andy Gray. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's seen every flavor of communications since smoke signals. I mean, he's got that kind of background, and he's the kind of person that they our hero team goes to. It's like, we're stumped, and he goes, well, and he does that good old boy routine. And you don't realize until halfway in the conversation that he's got an IQ that's off the charts, but he doesn't flaunt it. He kind of takes that, I'm just a dumb old country boy from Georgia.
Georgia.
Right.
Boy.
Yeah. And but here's the bits and bytes that you need. And he launched right into the mathematical equations for it. And the guy that running the supercomputer quipped like, how does he know all of this stuff? Yeah, and moi is still, I feel like I'm using an abacus to be able to make something work. So, we take the characters quite seriously, and they do a lot of polish to give them that extra depth when we're writing.
Have you, and you've got an awful lot of books in your series. I mean, and then it's obviously ongoing, and you've expanded on it this year with your newest series. Have you ever looked back, like to way back, like, well, I guess it would be kind of way back, yeah, like World War II or World War One, the Navajo code talkers?
So we haven't gone to the Navajo code talkers, but you know what the Enigma machine is, right?
Yes.
Of course you do. So it did all the encryption.
Yes.
So
For the enemy.
For the enemy. And so our postulation for the entire R group, which is the good guys in this series, is they were driven out of Poland by the German invasion in 1939, and they ended up taking a copy of said machine to Switzerland and ended up breaking the code. And we actually published the prequel to the series called Out of Poland in 22.
Yeah.
In 22, early 22.
Now
So,
there's a movie.
Yes, we did.
There's a movie about that.
There is, and
Yeah.
it was released about 2 years after the second book in our series.
I'll be darned, because I just watched that movie a few months ago. It's fascinating.
Okay.
Fascinating.
It is the whole history of, now we have a little cell phone that has all the foundational elements of the Enigma machine right in there.
Right.
In the little tiny living space.
It's mind-blowing. And just in the last 15 years, look where technology has. It's not just rolling along. It's like, steamrolling along.
Yeah.
Technology, how quickly it changes and evolves, and artificial intelligence, that actually blows my mind.
It's like an avalanche, isn't it?
It's almost overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And AI is going to be that tipping point of overwhelming, because really understanding what's real and what's not is going to blur even further. Even now, deep fakes are very questionable. We've looked at some of that stuff, but the AI, whoa, it's wild.
Yeah, we actually have 2 books dedicated to the AI wars. Book 11.
Do you?
Oh yeah. So we explored that. We could see that event horizon fairly clearly back in 2017, 2019, something like that. I don't know, I forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, we exercised that, and I can't wait for the one of our next books coming up about the chatbots, the artificial enhanced chatbots that are taking it's the chat GPT is what's coming up, and everybody's wigged out because people writing papers, they're writing, they're turning whole professions upside down because they can do a lot of that for it. I even played on one, tried to see what it would do, and it's like, it's it's evolving, and that's exactly where I would expect to see it. And because if it had evolved too far, we would be saying, "Yes, master. Let me go get that for you."
Right. And you know, the thing you had mentioned just a minute ago about how reality, the line of reality is going to become blurred or is becoming blurred. I look at folks younger than me now, and it's like an addiction to them being on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
And they're so immersed in all of that. I can't help but think that that blurring is already happening.
Oh no, I'd agree with you. I think the problem with it is having all of that screen time and all of those applications that are doing all of that thinking in place of the person. So it's changing the dimension of how we think. I think the impact is going to be stunning and not in a good way.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
We're going to lose some things. And probably not even know until they're gone.
Right. It's going to be a gradual thing, although there are those that will see it. Like we're talking about it right now. I see it, but there will be those that, it was just like, when a dictator takes power, all of a sudden it's like, we didn't see this come. It's like, well, he's been working on you for 10 years.
It's another kind of a cult, to be honest, Kim. So you're spot on. It's another kind of cult addiction. And if you have enough power and you have enough creativity to make people not be aware. Years ago, boy, this is going to date me, but you remember where there were drive-in theaters, Kim? I'm sure you're too young for that.
No, I used to go to them all the time. I loved them.
So one of the things they did in marketing and drive-in theaters was have the flashes of the snacks in between the movie screen that you really never actually saw, but they were subliminally being hitting you so that you absolutely had to go to the snack bar. Like you could hardly wait for that intermission to come. And it's like, oh, okay. Even before they started playing the music, people are hurting to that snack bar. Was all the subliminal stuff.
Yeah. And so, as teenagers, we would laugh because we would sneak as many kids in our trunk as we could.
Yeah.
To get into the drive-in. And we would laugh and say, oh, here comes a subliminal message. Go get popcorn. I mean, we would literally say that out loud, joking and laughing. Yeah. And then off we went to get our popcorn and our nachos and chili hot dogs, whatever other crap they had at the concession stand,
Exactly. So it's just gotten worse, I mean, different companies, you can tell that they have played with it in different ways. Amazon and their big data, and you bought this today, so you're going to buy this tomorrow, and all of that stuff. I mean, all of those elements of technology they have a place in all of the books, one thread after another. Yeah. Ransomware is still, I think, that the most unnerving one on how the creative ways of people attacking and taking personal information and wealth from individuals is unbelievable.
Well, and the cryptocurrency, we had a book on cryptocurrency, and we were so pleased that. But before we got the book finished, ready to go, we had actually postulated that Venezuela would have crippled their economy to the point where they would have to go with cryptocurrency, and it was like we were like weeks away from release. Sure enough, Venezuela announced cryptocurrency over here, so for us, sometimes the spooky part is writing stuff that comes true.
Yes. Well, and you have such a deeper connection than the general public, than, like me, Joe Schmo sitting here. I pay attention, whereas I think a lot don't.
Yeah.
I'm one of those ones that, and it could be from my background. So I will see, like you had mentioned, the Amazon, you buy something and then it's like, hey, we recommend this to you. And I'm sitting there and I laugh and say, not today. I say it out loud because I'm always like, okay, boys, I always say boys. All right, boys, I know you're listening. I know you saw what I just bought. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. Don't show me recommendations. And then I'll start getting weird stuff.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
very interesting. So I will literally talk out loud. People are like, wow, you're paranoid, Kim. I'm like, no, I actually don't think I am. Try it sometime.
Yeah. Alexa is listening. Of course, you need to be paranoid.
Yeah. And
I mean,
you invited that into your house.
Yeah.
yes. And many times you have it in multiple rooms of your house. I mean, there's no privacy animo
No,
What's
there is,
what's that old phrase that they
here's
say?
a brief story. This was years ago. I was engaged to a gentleman from Germany. He was from Germany, a German. And so before he moved over here full time, we were on the phone all the time, and he was teaching me to speak German. So when I would go over there to visit his family and stuff, I could at least have like, a grade school level able to talk, to converse with them. And anytime that we were on the phone, as we were talking, within the first 60 seconds, there would be 3 clicks. Every single time. He never heard them, only I did. And I said, there it goes again. And this happened 4 or 5 times. And we talked almost every day for short periods of time, because those are really expensive phone calls. But every single time for months and months. And I said, there's the clicks again. And so then we just kept on talking. And then we started just joking around. I'm like, there's the clicks again. Guess we should say hi, boys. And then he would say hi to them in German. And then he would be teaching me. And then we were laughing, saying, because he was teaching me the basics, how to count, the colors, how to say plate, knife, table, chair, just the basics. And he goes, they probably think we are talking in code. Because we're sitting there saying colors, numbers. And I'd be like, the horse is brown. I mean, those were the sentences he was teaching me how to speak. And I'm like, oh, you know what? You might be right. But literally, until when he finally moved here full time, and the clicking stopped.
No.
Never, ever had it again since then. But it was very interesting,
Oh, yeah.
So, and that was something I noticed right away. And I think I'm watchful. I'm more watchful maybe than a lot of folks might be.
Exactly. Now, were you still in the military when you talked to him?
No, I had been out for quite some time.
So they're still following you.
Well, yeah, when you're in military intelligence, they do a deep dive on your background.
All the time.
Yeah, I had that, there's certain levels, and top secret's the highest, but then there's also another one above that. There's really not a name for it. Whatever.
Above top secret. It's above.
Above top secret. You have to ask your dad, Charles.
It's called up there. Yeah. You don't have a need to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't have the need to know. That is right. Okay, so you've got new books that were released this year, a new series, not just a book, a series that was released, well, just this year. Gosh, it's only February, so it's only been 2 months. So they're brand new books.
It's one new book, and it's not actually released. It's on pre-order right now, Kim.
Oh,
it's called Enigma Tracer, and it's releasing on March 31st, but it's available on Amazon right now at a low-cost ebook price that will go up.
Awesome. And so we are talking, folks, on February 28th of 2023. In case you're listening to this months down the road, whenever you may be tuning in, Tracer is the new book of the new series.
Enigma Tracer. Yep.
Enigma Tracer. I love that word, enigma. Just
us too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you do.
Yeah.
So do you plan on, or do you have any ideas percolating in your brains about going like a completely different direction with your guys' writing? Have you ever thought of that?
So, you bring up a great point, Kim. I'm so glad you got that card we sent you, even though I didn't send it. It's those 3 clicks happening.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we actually are part of another group where we have now 12 authors that are writing an ongoing series. each author writes in their own genre. So, you could have everything from, science fiction but they're all technically cozy mysteries, but they
Okay.
have different insights because of different authors' genres. So each author writes a book. The name of the series is the Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles. We released a book in it last year called The Flower Enigma.
Yeah.
I know it's that enigma word again. That's how you find us. But our next one in that series we're working on right now, it's called The Killer Enigma. But there have been 10 books now released in that series so far. So it's the Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles, and it's a series on Amazon. Really fun, but very different because they're all award-winning authors, but they all have their own genres. So we created this town in Texas called Magnolia Bluff, and people are just dying to get in there.
How awesome. That sounds so fun. So you said they're cozy mysteries?
Yeah, cozy mysteries. And so a lot of what we did was the foundation where we've got, okay, here's the town. Doesn't really exist, but we've
Of course it does so.
Well, it does in our minds. Okay.
Well, to me, that means it exists.
Yeah. But we have shared characters. Here's some basic people. I'm going to build this person, and then somebody says, "Oh, can I borrow that one?" Okay, all right, yeah, fine, but don't whack them. All right. So, and we made the mistake early on. We're like, "Oh, I like this character that they created," and we sent a note to them. They go, "Oh, gee, I wish you wouldn't do that. They're not going to make it out of this book. So use somebody else from my book." And then the cross pollination for the ideas, we had a gal that we borrowed one of her characters before she wrote hers, and she liked it so much she said, "Can I borrow your two main characters from the book as well?" So our people found their way into her book, and so we got a note from her saying, "Oh, the one that's coming up on this year, can I borrow those characters again?" So it's sort of like it's a nice vote of confidence. I said, "You fine, just don't whack them because I need them for other books." Okay.
Right. Yeah. Please don't kill them.
Yeah, you can't kill other authors' characters, and you're not supposed to, put them and incapacitate them. Only the originating authors can do that to their own characters. So It's been fun though. It's been really fun. We have the whole 12 books planned from now. So the first one for season 2 of was released last month.
That's right. Yeah.
So
that sounds like a lot of fun. So you're in close connection with all these other authors.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It looked like an email blizzard when somebody gets really animated and excited. They start, the email flow. You can tell when somebody's really amped because the email just goes crazy. And they turn into their own spam engine sometimes. Okay, so you have to be careful. Do. Yeah. So.
But
that's
outside now that keeps you. Do you guys still work full-time jobs outside of writing?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
How else will we find new technology vectors to be able to focus on?
Exactly. Exactly. So what do your bosses think of the stuff that you write?
Sometimes I sneak away from work, so I don't really tell them everything I do. To be able to come to a small meeting like this.
Well, this is a lunchtime meeting, but
lunchtime meeting. That's absolutely what I meant.
But no, I mean, we've certainly told our bosses that we write. We don't advertise it during meetings. We don't try and hawk books or sell books during meetings.
Right.
Trying to be mindful.
Yeah.
Right. Understood. Well, folks, we're going to wrap this up. This has been awesome having you guys on again and all the things that you're doing, and how fun to learn about Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles. So folks, go check that out as well. And that's available on Amazon as well, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then your newest release is on pre-order, but it's releasing the end of March.
March 31st is its hot go date. Yep.
Awesome. As always, super pleasure to have you both on and talk about all things tech and how you guys come up with all your amazing stories. And I can't wait to see what's coming next. You've got a lot that you're doing, but I can only imagine or believe that 6 months from now, you're going to be working on something completely new and different. So always exciting and a pleasure to talk to you both. So thanks so much. Thank you so much for being my guests on Let Fear Bounce today.
Oh, thank you, Kim. You are a delight, as always. You're always into something fun, too.
Well, thank you. Hey, and one last thing. I've been asking my guests if you could, each of you, toss out a nugget of hope to my listeners. And that could be a nugget of hope to writers, those who are considering writing, or just a nugget of hope to people in general.
I'd say stay the course. That's the watchword for any writer. Believe in your skills. Also believe they can be improved. Don't forget to practice daily.
Good one. Good one. Thanks for sharing that.
That practice will pay off in a lot of different areas and for a lot of different professions as well.
In unexpected ways. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think my little nugget of hope is, hope that you don't give up too much of your freedom to technology, and make sure and disconnect now and again, and remember that you are a person with a creative imagination, whether you're writing or working or enjoying your family. That would be my little hope.
Little nuggets of hope. Those are both beautiful nuggets of hope. So thank you for sharing those.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
It's a good thing that you're doing your nuggets of hope, Kim. I like that. Like a mustard seed.
Yes.
Right? The power of a mustard seed.
That's right. Just chuck them out there.
Yeah.
Thanks again for being on Let Fear Bounce. And everybody out there, thank you for listening in to another episode of Let Fear Bounce. I am Kim Lengling, your host. Everybody be well, stay well, be blessed.